superior strength and durability of iron weapons, but also about the control of knowledge and resources. The ability to wield iron gave the Hittites, and later other civilizations, an edge in warfare, establishing them as dominant forces in the ancient Near East. This chapter will explore how the Hittites' use of iron weaponry changed the course of history, contributing to the rise and fall of empires, and how technological disparity once again shaped the destiny of societies. The Bronze Age dominance and its limits. Before the advent of iron, the Bronze Age civilizations dominated the Near East, Europe, and parts of Asia. Bronze, an alloy of copper and tin, was a valuable resource that transformed agriculture, construction, and warfare. Tools made from bronze were more durable than stone, and bronze weapons, swords, spears, and shields were far more effective in combat than their stone or wood counterparts. However, bronze had its limitations. Copper and tin were not found in abundance in many regions, making the production of bronze tools and weapons dependent on extensive trade networks. Empires like Egypt, Mesopotamia, and the Indus Valley relied heavily on their ability to control trade routes to acquire the raw materials necessary for bronze production. This dependence made them vulnerable to disruptions, and the scarcity of bronze ensured that only the elites or wealthiest members of society could afford high-quality weapons and tools. For centuries, bronze was the cornerstone of technological and military superiority. The Hittites themselves, before discovering the advantages of iron, had established a powerful kingdom in Anatolia through their use of bronze weaponry. Their expansion into the Levant, the conquest of rival states, and their military conflicts with Egypt, most notably at the Battle of Kadesh in 1274 BCE, were all enabled by bronze-based technologies. But by the middle of the second millennium BCE, the limits of bronze technology were becoming increasingly apparent. As trade routes fluctuated and demands on bronze supplies grew, civilizations began searching for new materials to maintain their dominance. The Hittites, with access to Anatolia's rich mineral resources, were the first to unlock the potential of iron. The Hittite discovery of ironworking. The Hittites' mastery of ironworking is one of the great technological breakthroughs of the ancient world. Around 1600 BCE, the Hittites began to experiment with smelting iron ore, a process that required much higher temperatures than the smelting of copper and tin. The ability to produce iron tools and weapons represented a significant leap forward. Unlike bronze, which required two metals and was thus more difficult to produce, iron could be sourced from a single type of ore, which was more widely available across the ancient world. The Hittites kept their ironworking methods a closely guarded secret, giving them a distinct advantage over neighboring civilizations that were still reliant on bronze. The weapons forged from iron were stronger, more durable, and more readily available than bronze weapons, allowing the Hittite military to field better-equipped soldiers. Iron swords and spears could hold an edge longer and withstand greater punishment in battle, making Hittite soldiers formidable opponents on the battlefield. This technological breakthrough allowed the Hittites to maintain and expand their empire for several centuries. While bronze weapons were still in use, especially among elites, iron gradually became the dominant material for tools and military equipment. This shift fundamentally altered the dynamics of power in the Near East. The Hittite Empire's rise coincided with its adoption of iron technology, enabling it to become one of the most powerful empires of the ancient world. Iron as a tool of military dominance. The military applications of iron weapons were profound. In the ancient world, the strength of an empire's army often determined its ability to expand and maintain control over territories. The Hittites, by equipping their armies with iron weapons, gained a critical advantage over their enemies. Iron swords and spears were not only more effective in combat, but their availability allowed the Hittites to arm larger numbers of soldiers, transforming the scale of warfare. The Hittites deployed these iron-armed forces in campaigns that expanded their empire into Syria, the Levant, and Mesopotamia. Their most famous conflict, the Battle of Kadesh, saw the Hittites and Egyptians clash for control over the Levant. Though both sides claimed victory, the Hittites' military capabilities, bolstered by their iron weapons, ensured that they retained influence over much of the contested territory in the years that followed. Iron's advantage wasn't just about individual weapons, it revolutionized battlefield tactics. The Hittites were able to build stronger chariots reinforced with iron fittings. These chariots, drawn by fast horses, allowed for quick and devastating attacks on enemy forces. Coupled with iron weapons, these innovations made the Hittite army one of the most feared forces in the region. However, it's important to note that the benefits of ironworking were not evenly distributed. The production of iron weapons was a complex process that required specialized knowledge and resources. As a result, iron weapons were initially available only to the elites within Hittite society. The ruling classes controlled the production and distribution of iron, which allowed them to maintain their power over both their subjects and their enemies. Economic and social implications of iron technology. The introduction of iron weapons and tools had far-reaching implications beyond the battlefield. Economically, iron was cheaper to produce than bronze, primarily because iron ore was more abundant and did not require the same complex trade networks as copper and tin. As ironworking spread, it gradually democratized access to tools and weapons, reducing the reliance on expensive imports and fostering local production. For the Hittites, the control of iron production became a significant economic asset. The empire's wealth grew as they exported iron weapons, tools, and knowledge to other regions. This economic power further reinforced the Hittites' position as a dominant force in the ancient world. Iron tools also revolutionized agriculture, allowing for more efficient farming practices. Stronger plows made from iron could till the soil more effectively, leading to increased agricultural yields. This, in turn, supported larger populations and helped sustain the empire's growing cities and armies. Socially, the rise of ironworking contributed to the stratification of Hittite society. As iron weapons and tools became more widespread, the elites who controlled their production maintained their dominance over the lower classes. The disparity between those who had access to iron and those who did not became a defining feature of Hittite society. Farmers and laborers who lacked access to iron tools were at a disadvantage, while the elites who controlled iron production reaped the benefits of the new technology. This inequality was mirrored in the military sphere, where elite soldiers, armed with iron weapons, enjoyed greater prestige and power than ordinary foot soldiers. The ability to control iron production allowed the Hittite ruling class to maintain a monopoly on military and political power, ensuring that the benefits of the Iron Age were concentrated in the hands of a few. The spread of ironworking technology. While the Hittites were among the first to develop ironworking technology, they did not remain its sole masters for long. Over time, the secret of iron smelting spread to other civilizations, either through trade, conquest, or the migration of skilled metallurgists. The collapse of the Hittite Empire around 1200 BCE, part of a broader wave of destruction known as the Bronze Age collapse, took to the dispersion of knowledge about ironworking to other parts of the ancient world. The spread of ironworking had profound consequences for the civilizations that followed. In the Near East, iron technology quickly supplanted bronze as the primary material for weapons and tools. The Assyrians, in particular, became known for their mastery of iron weaponry, using it to build a vast and brutal empire that stretched from Mesopotamia to Egypt. The ability to produce large quantities of iron weapons allowed the Assyrians to field massive armies, which they used to conquer and control their neighbors. In Europe, the spread of ironworking technology led to the rise of new civilizations, such as the Celts, who became known for their skill in crafting iron tools and weapons. Ironworking also spread to Greece, where it played a crucial role in the development of the Greek city-states and their military capabilities. The famous hoplite soldiers of Sparta and Athens were equipped with iron weapons, which gave them an edge in the conflicts of the classical world. The adoption of ironworking technology marked the end of the Bronze Age and the beginning of a new era in human history. The Iron Age was characterized by the spread of knowledge and technology, which allowed more societies to access the benefits of iron. However, the inequalities created by the control of iron production persisted, as elites continued to monopolize the resources and knowledge needed to produce iron weapons and tools. The Bronze Age collapse and the Hittite Empire's fall. The collapse of the Hittite Empire around 1200 BCE was part of a larger pattern of destruction that swept across the Near East and Mediterranean during this period. Known as the Bronze Age collapse, this event saw the downfall of several major civilizations, including the Mycenaeans, the Minoans, and the Egyptians. The causes of the collapse are still debated by historians, but likely include a combination of natural disasters, invasions by foreign peoples, such as the Sea Peoples, and internal social and economic turmoil. For the Hittites, the collapse was particularly devastating. The empire, which had been one of the most powerful in the ancient world, was reduced to a collection of fragmented city-states, many of which were eventually absorbed by rival powers. The fall of the Hittites marked the end of their dominance over the region and the spread of their technological knowledge to other civilizations. The Bronze Age collapse also accelerated the spread of ironworking technology. As the old order fell apart, iron became more widely accessible, and new powers emerged that embraced this transformative technology. The collapse of the Hittite Empire, while tragic for its people, contributed to the broader diffusion of ironworking, setting the stage for the Iron Age civilizations that would follow. Lessons from the Iron Age: technology, power, and inequality. The Hittites' use of iron weapons demonstrates how technological innovation can reshape the balance of power between societies. By mastering ironworking, the Hittites were able to dominate their neighbors and expand their empire. Iron weapons gave their armies a significant advantage on the battlefield, while iron tools revolutionized agriculture and supported the growth of their economy. However, as with all technological advances, the benefits of ironworking were not evenly distributed. The ruling classes who controlled iron production maintained their grip on power, while the lower classes remained dependent on less advanced tools and weapons. This technological disparity reinforced social and economic inequality, a pattern that has repeated throughout history. The rise of the Iron Age also highlights the importance of controlling access to new technologies. The Hittites' initial monopoly on ironworking allowed them to maintain their dominance for centuries, but once the technology spread to other civilizations, their advantage diminished. This diffusion of knowledge ultimately contributed to the decline of the Hittite Empire and the rise of new powers, such as the Assyrians, who used iron to build their own empires. The story of the Hittites and the Iron Age is a reminder of how technological advancements can both empower and divide societies. As we move into the age of artificial intelligence, we must be mindful of the lessons of history. Just as the control of iron reshaped the ancient world, the control of AI has the potential to reshape our modern world. Ensuring equitable access to AI will be crucial in preventing the kinds of inequalities that have plagued humanity throughout history. Conclusion. The Hittites' use of iron weaponry during the second millennium BCE was a transformative moment in human history. By mastering the technology of ironworking, the Hittites gained a significant military advantage that allowed them to dominate their rivals and build a powerful empire. However, the control of iron production also reinforced social and economic inequalities, as the ruling classes monopolized access to this valuable resource. The fall of the Hittite Empire and the spread of ironworking technology to other civilizations marked the beginning of the Iron Age, a period in which iron weapons and tools revolutionized warfare, agriculture, and industry. The lessons of this era are clear. Technological innovation can be a powerful force for progress, but it can also create significant inequalities if access to new technologies is not distributed equitably. As we look to the future, the rise of artificial intelligence presents similar challenges and opportunities. Just as the Hittites used iron to reshape the ancient world, AI has the potential to reshape our modern world. Ensuring that AI is accessible to all, rather than concentrated in the hands